It's the Derek and Mike podcast. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate you being here. Connect with us online. Links to all our stuff are on our website, derekandmike.com. My name is Mike. This is my boy, Derek.
What's up, Mike? What's up, everybody?
Goddamn, Derek, I had a topic I wanted to jump into, but I'm still just reeling from the coolness of our new recording platform. Check us out.
Yeah, I know. It is awesome. It feels different too, doesn't it? There's something about the Zoom was a little bit just sterile, I think. This is a little bit more.
Yeah, Zoom feels very corporate. Like I feel like I have to nod while you talk and all the lame Zoom netiquette that you have to observe. But here feels like a private studio. It's our damn podcast studio, and it feels cool. I'm digging this new platform.
Yeah, me too. And we're side by side here. It's kind of like the camaraderie is there. It's like I'm not some little bubble, and you're like some big screen that I have to look at. You know, I prefer that. We get to share the screen here.
No, I prefer when I'm the big screen and you're the bubble. That's better for me. But actually, on my side, I'm the bubble and you're the big screen. In Zoom.
Like
so good riddance to that. Hey, so I wanted to ask you, I don't know if your daughter has ever been involved in sports or not. Well, I can ask you, has your daughter ever been involved in sports or anything like that?
Soccer at a certain point, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, but
okay.
not a whole lot though. Yeah, but
you were like
ballet.
Soccer god, so you probably inched her in that direction. Which is it.
Yeah.
In any case, even if you're not, soccer's probably the best sport for young kids to start in.
Mm-hmm.
But how'd you like it?
Oh, she loved it. It was when we moved to Nashville, and I became a coach. I decided to do the coach thing because this was right when we moved there. It was right before COVID. Everybody started freaking out, but I knew COVID was there because I knew about it like 2 months before everybody.
Oh,
but I started doing that, and it was awesome. We had a great time, and we won our first game, and then COVID hit.
Wow. Oh, and then that just wrecked it? That was it? She got one game in and it was over?
Yeah, it was one game. Yeah.
Wow.
One game. Yeah, it was kind of sad.
Did she win?
Yeah, we won the game, but she didn't score. She was a little bit hesitant of the ball a lot of times, but she had really good ball skills, though. She has good ball skills.
Well, I think with soccer, especially with young kids, I mean, how old was she? 3 or 4 or 5?
How old would she be there? Ooh, put me on the spot here.
Young, right?
Yeah, we're talking about 5 years ago, so 5.
Okay. Yeah. So kindergarten.
Yeah.
At that age, especially for most kids, I guess some kids are kind of savage and aggressive, but most kids are, I think, a little bit intimidated of the cluster of activity in soccer as a big group of the most aggressive kids on the team are all rushing for the ball at the same time. It creates kind of a cluster of aggression that I think most kids are usually a little bit like, not in a hurry to be thrown right in the middle of that mix.
Yeah.
And even the least aggressive kids are even further back from the fray, kind of the tail end of the comet, kind of chasing it around as the most aggressive cluster of kids chases the ball around. The least aggressive kids are kind of bringing up the rear, chasing them around, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to put it because it's very true. It's like it's a big ball of kids and surrounding a soccer ball.
Yeah. Well, and I'm surprised that they were even keeping score. Like you said, they won their first game, but I mean, maybe it's a Tennessee thing. They actually keep score. In California, dude, like,
oh yeah.
Games at that age, they're just playing, they're not keeping score. There's no structure to the game. It's almost as if they're just trying to get them to stop chasing butterflies,
Wait a minute. How do you play a game? How is it a game if you don't keep score?
Well, they're scoring goals, but I mean, God, so Michael, my oldest, played soccer when he was 4, and at that point, dude, just keeping the kids on the field and running in the right direction was hard enough. So they would kick goals, but no one was keeping score or anything. It was more just like, hey, let's come out and play soccer. He actually never even had a game, come to think of it. He played like his own team. They would split in half, and a practice it was just going to play soccer. There wasn't a differentiation between a practice and a game. It was just go play soccer on Tuesday nights or Saturday mornings or whatever it was.
Oh,
There were
okay.
there were no actual games. It was just we're going to soccer on Saturday kind of thing.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. Maybe could be a difference between 4 and 5 in that regards, but yeah, I don't know. I think that was it like an AYSO league or
it wasn't ASO. It was similar. I forget the name of the organization. It was pretty disorganized for an organization. They didn't quite merit the name of organization. They were more of a disorganization of kids soccer, and it was really just teaching kids the basic fundamentals, trying to instill some sort of discipline and listening skills, and teaching them how to dribble the ball, kick the ball, and chase the ball. And that was about the season. Maybe it was eight practices or games. They weren't even that. It was just 8, sessions of soccer.
Well, I enjoyed being a coach. I think it was a really fun experience. And
why didn't you get back into it after COVID went, if it ended?
That's a good question. I moved over here, and I guess it just, what I was trying to do, I was trying to like acquaint myself with the community more and like get friends and just actually like have some more interaction, because I knew nobody. I mean, here I have family that I live around, so maybe I'm not as lonely as I was over there in Nashville and trying to like quote unquote establish a life. But it was fun though. I mean, I did meet one guy. He was like about my age, and he was a soccer player too. I feel like he tried to almost like, he wanted to be the coach. Like he wanted to, like, he wasn't like, and I'm like, hey, you know what? More the merrier. I was like fine with that. But I think the other team that we played on our first game, because the coach is allowed to be on the field saying like, oh, go and get it. Go get the ball. Go do that. Go that. You're allowed to be on the field, like with the kids.
Right.
So like, it was me on the field with him on the field.
You're like,
we were
hey,
both,
you're that way, bud.
The other coach was pissed that he was mad. He was sour that we won too, because we won, and
he's like, you have 2 coaches on the field.
Yeah, and then before the game, I asked him. I said, hey, do you want to win this thing, or how are we going to play this? Because I was like, I'm not like trying to like get the kids to win and like try to like. So I pitched that to him. He's like, hell yeah, I want to win. He's like, hell yeah, I want to win.
Keep to win. We're gonna crush those motherfuckers.
He was. This is like 5-year-olds, dude. So I was like, oh shit. And yeah, he took it real serious, man. But it was fun though. It was cute. And
so when the other kids are like running past you, you just like stick a foot out and trip them or something when no one's looking.
Yeah. But I'm sure there were some people talking about 2 coaches being on the field on that game. But
that's funny.
Yeah.
So now I can really relate to a lot of that, and that was the reason I brought it up. Is our first experience with soccer was so preliminary and basic. There were no games or structures. Now, my oldest, Michael, we just signed him up for T-ball, and he's a couple practices in. He's 1 game in. We're doing practices during the week. We're doing games on the weekend. So far he's had 3 practices and 1 game. And I'm the assistant coach.
Oh,
so it's official. Like, I'm not just the annoying dad who's like out there sticking his nose in the business. Like, two of us volunteered to be assistant coaches, and our head coach is this guy, Danny, who coincidentally is friends with Noah, my stepdad. And so when my mom and Noah showed up to support Michael during his first practice, they saw the coach, this guy, Danny, and they're like, whoa, what the fuck, dude? Danny, how's it going? So right out of the gate, it was like, oh, this is going to be a fun season, man. This guy knows our family. And it's so much fun, dude. So the age range in the T-ball group is 4 to 6. Most of the kids are 5. Michael's also 5. I think there's 1 or 2 kids who are 4. There's maybe 1 or 2 who are 6. But they're all right about that 5. They're evenly able in age and speed and ability and all that. And it's so much fun being a coach, dude. I love it. And just an assistant coach, and I'm glad I'm just an assistant coach, because there's a lot of structure and that I'm not familiar with. I've never been much of a baseball player. I played Little League when I was a kid, but I'm not a big baseball guy. I understand the basics, and I'm fairly athletic, but that's about it, right? I don't really know much about baseball.
I wouldn't put you on first base.
No, probably not. Actually, first base is one of the better positions for me because I can catch the ball pretty well. But and anytime it's going to go to me, I'll field it fairly well. But sometimes knowing where to throw it and all that, depending on the conditions of the game, I don't want to be in a situation where I have to make decisions. I'm better at just stand here, and if we throw it to you, catch it. Like just perform. You don't have to make decisions. I'd feel better about first base than I would shortstop. Because when you're shortstop,
not to distract, but you do remember we used to play baseball together, right?
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, yeah.
Okay, that's all I had to say.
Yeah. No, I was
Okay.
never
Okay.
good, jerk.
Okay.
I was
well,
okay. I could hit the ball every once in a while. I wasn't as good as you or Ron. You guys were both like really good.
Yeah.
I was okay at best, and still today I'm just okay at best. But as a grown up on a field full of 5-year-olds, I'm fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like. I'm way better than they are. Those kids suck, man. No, but it's so much fun coaching the team and assistant coaching and watching the kids learn and respond and how fired up they get about all that. And then also like the super silliness of when anytime a ball is hit, the entire team all goes after the ball, no matter what position they're playing. You know, if a kid hits the ball down the first baseline, every single kid in the field goes after it. You know, from the outfield, third base, they all go running after it. It's super funny.
Yeah.
And now we're trying
Michael's
to
pretty good. I can see him really swinging that bat hard.
Both my boys are very athletic, and Michael's very athletic, and he's like serious about practicing. He's not out there messing around. He gets distracted and goofs off and does a silly dance and doesn't look sometimes and whatever. But really, like when his attention is on it, he's very good at going after the ball. He just learned in the last practice that he needs to stay in his position when the ball is hit. Like if the ball's hit over on the other side of the field, don't go running after it, stay in your position. And he picked that concept up pretty quick, and he's doing that now. He's got a great arm. He can throw a ball really far and accurate. He can hit the ball really far. I mean, you know, I'm his dad, so it's easy for me to be like all partial and whatever, but he's one of the best kids on the team. He's
got long arms too, doesn't he? I'm picturing, because he's like that. He's got the drummer body too. He's a drummer.
Well, he's got the long arms. He's very coordinated. You've seen him drum, and same with sports. It just translates. Like he's coachable. The coach has said several times, like, man, Michael's really coachable. When I teach him how to change his stance or the way he's holding the bat, like he does it. He gets it and listens. So kid's good, dude. So long story short, we'll be helping him turn pro, and then he can buy me a house, you know, when he joins the big show.
You haven't had a game yet, huh?
We've had one game. So he's had 3 practices and one game. And in that game, they're not keeping score. So the way T-ball goes, at least here in fucking hippie land, so a batting lineup is basically every kid on the team gets to go up and have one at bat. They hit the ball and then run to first base and stop. And then the next kid on the team goes up, hits the ball, and if they kind of knock it off the tee and don't really hit it, they get to hit it again. Like, so they wait until each kid gets a hit, like a decent forward projection of the ball. And then that kid gets to run to first, and the kid on first goes to second. So each person on the team gets to bat, and then they all advance one base. And then the last batter on the team hits, and then all the kids on base run all the way back into home and then back in the dugout. And then they switch, come out and play field for the other team. There's no number of innings. They just play a 1-hour game. So as many times as they can do that, everybody gets to bat during each inning structure. Then after 1 hour, game's over. So that's kind of how T-ball goes. I don't know if it changes as they get a little bit better skill, but for now, like, they barely even understand the game, you know? So even maybe just the idea of them hitting it and running to first is brand new to them. And when the other team hits it, catching it and throwing it to first is still brand new to them. And they're getting it quick, but the first game was pretty funny.
Yeah. I'm not sure I approve of this non-scoring thing.
They don't understand the idea of a score yet. I'm with you. I want them to be playing for a win and feel what it's like to lose. But they don't even understand what the score is yet. So maybe
they're not going to understand if you don't have a score.
Well, true. Very true.
They're going to be like 12 years old and be like, "Oh, what's this score shit?"
Yeah, what do you mean a point?
I'm just going to lost.
Yeah, it's my turn to bat. I'm going to get on base, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure at what point it starts having more structure. Like, you know, I mean, when you hit it and the whole team misses it and it rolls into the outfield, they're able to just continue running the bases all the way to home. They don't even understand that concept yet of running all the bases and going home to get a point. So we're still working on that, and I'm not sure at what level. Like if they start getting it in this season, do we start keeping score or having them run all the bases, or do we just continue through the whole season where they just run to first and stop? I don't know. That's where we're at now after one game.
Well, I feel fairly confident when I say that that's not how games are played here.
A little different in Tennessee.
That's probably an accurate statement, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You probably have a couple parents on there like, stop with the scoring. Stop it. We don't want to weaponize our children.
We want every kid to have a chance to hit the ball, and we want them all to feel like winners.
And I get, no, I'm not opposed to that either. You know what I mean?
I am. I'm saying it sarcastically. It's like, dude, not every kid gets a chance to hit the ball, because if the first three batters suck and they get out, then sorry, the rest of the team doesn't get a chance to hit. 3 outs, dude. Better luck next inning. And then being able to throw a kid out at first and boom, hey, sorry, we beat you to the bag. You're out, dude. And then the kid gets upset because he made a good hit, but he didn't make it to first base fast enough. Like, all that's good. That's the beauty of sports. And it's just realistically, they don't understand the structure of the game to be able to play it that way yet. But I'm with you. If it was structured to where they were scoring, even as silly and as basic level as they are right now, I think they should be keeping score. I'm with you. I think that would be even more fun. And it's all positive and fun anyway. It's not like anyone's going to be like losers,
Right. Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's about sportsmanship, and you got to learn sportsmanship, and you got to know if you're on the field to win. That's what you're trying to do.
That's
like
what we're doing.
There is an objective of this game. You're not here just to hit the ball and then everybody gets to hit the ball. You are operating as a team, and that's the team aspect to it.
We're going to win together,
together as a team. So there's a team sport aspect to that too. I mean, I don't know. Other than that, what it's I don't know. I don't even know how to equate it. It's like what other games? Is there any board games or something that don't keep score? Or, I know they have some. Actually, there are some new board games. More and more, you see like board games and stuff that don't have a score. It's like cooperative
participation land or something like that.
And that's we got a few of those. I mean, there's some of them that are fun to play. I mean, especially when a kid is like 3 years old or whatever. There's no opposition or anything. But I don't know. I think that this kind of stuff just hinders more than it actually does good, I think.
I think you're right. So, so that's what's going on. It's a ton of fun, but I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to progress, and like, when do we start doing more? Like, Michael's able to hit pitches, so he's obviously in T-ball and they hit off a tee, but I throw to him underhand, and I'm not winging him at him or anything, but I'll throw him underhand pitches, and he can hit 7 out of 10. I mean, he's good at hitting pitches, so hopefully at some point we can start underhand pitching to them, and they can start hitting pitch balls. And they're already getting the base idea, so I think they'll be right up to speed with that pretty soon, at least after another game or two. That would
Is
be
it
cool.
a wiffle ball? You do a wiffle ball in your backyard?
No, so he used to have the light plastic balls and the light foam bats, and then once we signed him up for T-ball, I bought him like real T-ball gear. So like the T-ball ball, which is same size as a regular baseball, it's just a tiny bit softer. It's still pretty hard. If you crank it and hit someone in the face, it's going to hurt. It's got weight to it, but it's a little softer than a hard ball. And the bats are aluminum T-ball bats. So now he's playing with aluminum T-ball bats and a T-ball ball.
So he's swinging that in the backyard too? Or
Yeah, when we practice in the backyard, that's what we use. We use his regular T-ball stuff. I bought a whole box of balls, and he has 2 T-ball bats.
He doesn't hit it over the fence? I could see him hitting that over the fence.
He totally can. We have big trees, so he'll hit them into the trees all the time. I have him hit against, in a direction where if he gets up in the air over the fence level, it'll hit a tree. But if he hits it low, then it'll go right into the fence or whatever. But it's perfect backyard where if he hits it too high, he's not going to go over the fence. It's going to get stuck in the tree and fall down.
Oh, because your backyard is like a slope, right?
So there's a big slope.
The big slope that you got,
So if he gets a real high one, it's going to hit those trees and come down.
Oh, nice.
So that works out pretty good.
Yeah, I could totally picture him being like playing baseball. Like
Yeah.
he's got that.
Oh yeah,
He's
he's
got
into it.
the, what do you say, the
The physique.
figure, his
Yeah.
physique. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got
yeah.
the
Yeah.
physique
He's
of a
dude,
baseball player.
he's athletic as hell, dude. The kid's got good
Really.
balance. He's strong. He's good at using his body, hand-eye coordination and all that is on point. Like, yeah, he's got all the makings of a kid who would be really good at it. And truthfully, I was kind of wondering how he was going to do sportsmanship wise. Um, and I think it's been a very surprisingly in a good way situation where when he's around other people like peers and then also other adults like coaches, he's motivated to be a better sport and a more polite kid and more accepting of things that maybe don't go his way. Whereas with mom and dad, kids are more likely to whine or throw a fit if they don't get their way or be more of the bad sport category kind of thing. And not to say he was ever a bad sport, but he would be more like, oh, if I don't get my way, I'm done, and throw something or whatever. And so I wasn't sure how that would go. I was kind of like, all right, is he going to, miss a ball and get mad and throw his glove or something? And no, so far at least, none of that, man. He's been a really good sport. He's been really positive with his other teammates. He's been good about sharing the ball and like sharing the space and all that kind of stuff. So it's been very, very cool to see that difference of how he is with mom and dad and his own brother versus how he is on a team with peers and other people in leadership roles. And he's super receptive to it, and he's motivated to impress people. So he's very eager for you to see how well he can throw, and he really wants you to see how well he can hit. So he's out there trying his best. And when you notice him, like, hey, that was a good hit, he's like, yeah, yeah. He's thriving on it. Like he's digging that piece of sports, which is cool, and that's so much of what sports is there for,
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think a lot of times kids they feel comfortable around us, so they'll just tell us like what their innermost thoughts are, like, oh
Sure.
shit, I can't, and they'll be whiny and do all this around family and stuff. But then it is kind of neat though once you see them get around strangers and just more like in an official type public atmosphere, and how they just can rein all those things in and just act like totally conform to the society,
Yeah.
which is awesome. Yeah, I've had I was worried about that too. I think we all worry about it with our kids too. And then like definitely Esme would do that. And then my brother's daughter, my niece, his youngest one, she's a fireball, dude. She was like a real fireball, and like she refused to wear clothes for like a long time, and she was just like real like kind of worried. But then when she went to school, totally great behavior. I'm like, it's really kind of funny how they have that awareness of, oh, I'm in public now, I need to be proper.
Yep.
I need to like, and yeah, it's great to see.
It is even like down to like daily routine kind of stuff. So like my boys are good at brushing their teeth and getting ready for bed, but I've still got to initiate them doing it. And pretty often I need to be like, I'm telling them 3 or 4 or 5 times, like, it's time to brush your teeth. You get a little pushback and whatever. So they're pretty good about it, but it still requires quite a bit of coaxing. But when my mom is watching the boys and it's overnight, so she's doing the whole bedtime routine, they're eager to show grandma how big they are and responsible they are. So they are the ones initiating like, oh, grandma, we can't go to bed until we brush our teeth. And they'll go in there, show her how to, how they get the toothbrush themselves and put the toothpaste on themselves. And like, they're feeling very accomplished and proud of being able to do it themselves. And I'm over here like, well, what the fuck, dude? Why am I having to like prod you and force you to do it every night when you clearly understand it needs to be done and you take pride in doing it, but not around me, like only around grandma or someone else, So that's
totally
interesting.
Relate. So I go up to Esme now and I'm like, you know what time it is, right? You know it needs to be done at this point, like, because I would say the same thing all the time, like, go brush your teeth and go potty. She's like in 4th grade, and I still say those words. I'm like, go brush your teeth, go potty, and do a breathing treatment if you need one. And yeah,
it's kind of funny how they can. Go ahead.
When you go to pick them up at your mom's house, do they like do they I would imagine, because this happens as made, do they get like an extra confidence level where you walk in and they're like, we know you're here, Dad. We don't want to talk to you right now.
Kinda. So they've never stayed the night at my mom's. Usually when the rare times we go away overnight or late at night, my mom comes to our house and watches the boys here at our house, which I think is easier because they've got all their toys. The house is set up for them. They know where everything is. Although they probably would like the freedom of going somewhere else and all that. They would probably dig that, and they're probably at a good enough age to go stay at grandma's house sometime now. But when we get home after being gone for the night, and they're very eager to like show us how much they did on their own, and they want to tell us all the cool things that happened or the funny things that they said, and like, oh, I made Pops laugh when I did this. Like, so they do want us to be impressed by how big they are, by how good they were and what they were able to do. Like, yeah, they're very full of themselves when we get back. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, because we didn't live so close to my parents for so long, but then when we did, we would take Esme over there and she would spend some time with him. She'd come back to us like, who are you people? Like, I don't need you.
I don't need you. I mean, I'm on my own now. I'm emancipated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's so cool though, isn't it? It's so neat to see them like developing into secure, independent people, because they're going to be grown-ups, and it's just like, oh, okay, cool. I was starting to wonder if you were ever going to grow up. So it's cool to see you making some advancements, because I think with mom and dad in the home tribe, it's so easy to remain the baby, and you know what I mean? It's I think partly on their side and even partly on the parents' side. Like, we continue day to day to have a routine, and kids change and evolve so quickly that our ability to modify our routine lags behind their ability to grow and learn new things and take on new responsibility. At least for us, like, we're always a little behind the 8-ball on what they're able to do, versus when someone else kind of comes in, they may not know what their normal responsibility level is, so they may challenge them or expect them or allow them to expand their breadth of what they do, and all of a sudden they find out they can do more. They're surprised by their own ability. They feel proud about it. And then we go, oh shit, hey, you can take out the trash? Sweet. Okay. We hadn't been expecting you to do that, but now that we know, you'll get the trash bags, that kind of stuff. It's cool.
Yeah. I think part of it is that we want to still see them as a baby, and still, because there's the times like when Esme started sleeping in her own room, like that was a little bit of a heartbreak for me, because she would like sleep with me and stuff. And I was like, I can, any time of night, I could just look over and see her and just be like, oh, she's okay. She's okay.
Yeah.
And just check on her. And, I had to break that. I had to push a little bit to break that and be like, just because I want her to grow. I enjoyed her sleeping there because I could always keep an eye on her, but really it's not good for her. So, and I noticed Megan doing a lot of little things like that too. Like, she'll go to sleep. Like, when she's starting to go to sleep, Megan thinks that we both have to be upstairs with her. I'm like, no, honey, we have to break it. Let's get her to do what we want. But Megan doesn't want to let go, I think, in some way, because she wants her to still be like a little baby and still wants her to, so it's, I
think
it's a little bit on both sides.
I think that's got to be more prevalent with women and their mom instincts and all that. Because I'm with you. Like, I'm usually the one that's kind of pushing them on to their next steps, or at least recognizing they're able to take that next step. And I'll be the first one to kind of give them that freedom or give them that responsibility. And mom's always a little bit slower to do that. And I think you're right. I think that's just kind of that maternal instinct or proclivity to baby them a little bit, that kind of deal. So good stuff. The kids need that. They need dad pushing them and they need mom holding them.
Yeah.
Hey, do you ever do work conferences or anything where you travel and get together with the people at your work? Or you're pretty remote now. Do you ever even see the people that you work with?
Every once, it's not often, but it's more like if we have a big project kickoff, then I'll do that. Okay. Like, I came out there, that one time that I saw you, not the last time, the time before that one, that was a work kickoff project. But generally, no, though. I'm kind of lucky in that way where I don't have to go anywhere. But you did, though, right? You just went somewhere, right? You just went to Dallas or something?
Yeah, so I was in Dallas for, we call it a leadership conference. It's basically just all the managers and sales reps, all kind of the higher ups in the company get together once a year to just kind of powwow about what we've done, go over some numbers, go over planning for, the coming years, and talk about where we're going in a bunch of different categories, where we're going, goal wise, and where we're going software wise, and all that. And it's also an opportunity for us just to kind of get together and hang and maintain and build new relationships. We get new people all the time, so it kind of brings them into the fray and helps everyone know each other. So it's team building, and it's also meetings. And it's basically 3 straight days of meetings and hanging out, food and drinks, and it's cool. What I was thinking about this last one when we were in Dallas is how some people just party, dude, at these work events, and it trips me out. As many heads up and as many warnings as we get from the bosses, like, hey guys, remember, don't drink too much. We're at a work event. The fucking CEO is going to be standing right next to you, or some executive in a shirt that you don't recognize, and he's going to overhear what you're saying, to your buddies next to you. And it trips me out how loose some people get at these work events, and they forget their work events. Like, they're out there just on this vacation in Dallas, and it's ill-advised, because shit can go down, dude, and repercussions can happen.
It's dangerous. I agree. I had a run-in one time with a boss in Vegas after drinking.
Oh, really?
And and even to this day, I still feel it was warranted, but I would not have done it had I not been juiced up like that.
Okay.
But what he was saying, though, because we broke out into like separate teams, and this one team got this really shit job to do, and they were doing overtime for like 6 straight weeks. It was total bullshit, if you ask me, because it was just poorly run from a management level. And then he was bragging that whole team did not get a bonus. And he was literally bragging about it, like in the casino right there. And I was like, and I just laid into him.
Really?
I was pissed off. I was mad. And luckily it was at a time, like I was indispensable I created this system that made them like many millions of dollars. And I was kind of the central key part of that. So he couldn't fire me. He wanted to fire me. But I agree. Like you do have to be careful with drinking and going to those things, because it just doesn't mix all the time.
No, it's a work event, and it's easy to forget that it is, because I guess you're in a hotel, you're at a bar, you're hanging out with people who you don't get to see very often. So there's totally, like, there's a lot of opportunity and almost incentive to hang out and have a good time. And that's part of the whole point of these events, is you're supposed to be hanging out and having a good time. It's that team building piece of it. They want us to have a couple of drinks, but they also want it to just be a couple of drinks. They really don't want people who can't handle their shit to lose their shit. And it's a hard differentiation to make when you're saying, like, hey, if you can handle your booze, go nuts, do your thing. But if you can't handle your booze, please know you can't handle your booze. But in reality, people who can't handle their booze have no idea that they're the kind of person who can't handle their booze. They're probably the kind of person that goes like, I got this, bring on some more shots, So it's, I think I lost Derek. Is Derek frozen? Oh, uh-oh. Our wonderful platform we were touting and feeling all good and high and mighty about has just frozen on me. Is Derek there? It's still counting. I think I lost Derek. Well, what would I do without Derek? I've got no one to listen to my stories. Got no one to talk to. I've got no one to nod their head while I'm explaining why you're not supposed to get drunk at work events. And I've got no one to riff with. So I'm just kind of standing here talking to myself.
Okay,
Derek
I'm
is
back.
opening other tabs. Hey, Derek's back. Oh,
Yeah.
man, I was starting to get all fucking verklempt.
I had a little internet allergy or something. I don't know what happened. It's kind
Oh,
of
so
annoying.
was it our platform or was
No,
it your
it was
internet?
my internet. Yeah, my internet.
Okay, all right. So our new platform is not to blame.
Yeah, but
Your rural internet connection
I
is.
don't. I have my internet. Like I can't get like a good consistent internet here. I have to work on that a little bit more. And I just bought Starlink. So
Oh,
like
what's Starlink?
Starlink, Elon Musk Starlink. You know the internet. You don't know the
I don't know.
satellite internet.
No.
Mike, Mike, or real Mike back in. How do you not know what Starlink is?
I've heard of it, but I don't know what
Oh,
it
okay.
is. It's like
It's like he makes
satellite-based
two
internet.
things. He makes Teslas and he makes Starlink.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I
guess.
know about Tesla, so
Yeah.
I'm one for two.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So Starlink is a dish that connects to satellite internet, and you have satellite internet. I'm not on Starlink right now because that internet is a little bit spotty, so I couldn't use that right now until I mount it up on a roof. I think, which I hope is going to fix it because I just
wait, I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm getting an error on because I am the host and you're just a guest. You may not be seeing this vital information.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting an error that says Derek has Riverside open in 2 browsers or tabs. Do you have multiple tabs open?
Oh yeah. Do I now?
No,
Okay.
the error went away.
Okay.
So back to Starlink is satellite internet. And what is it like? Less expensive, faster? What's the attraction other than being something I've never heard of?
Well, it is faster. It generally is faster. Like I do get I think I got like 300 megabit download on one of the tests. The upload was like only like 15 megabit. It wasn't that fast, but the ping is like 22 milliseconds, and it's like $100 a month, I think. So, or 100, might be 120 a month, but it's unlimited internet, and it's just supposed to be generally faster and more reliable if you have a good, clear view of the sky. And I hope that I do once I put this thing up on the top of a 2-story roof, because right now I get obstructions. I'm getting obstructions in this thing. It's kind of a little bit frustrating.
Oh, so, gotcha.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what the answer is going to be, but I'm going to cry if I can't use it for like podcasting and stuff, because
losing you
it's
again.
Fast. I mean, it's.
Oh man, your
really
internet
hoping it works
sucks,
out, because I want to get rid of the cable internet that
you
I
just
have
cut
too,
out again. I'm losing you again, dude.
Service keeps getting crappier on that, and I don't know, quality just keeps going down.
Terrible, absolutely terrible.
Did I lose you this time?
Well, this is quite the performance here. Pixelating. I think you're back.
Oh wait. Oh, you know what? It connected to my Starlink now. Now I'm on Starlink.
Nope, losing me again. Fantastic. What in the fuck, man? Well, I think that's going to be it for this here episode, where we work on our technical issues here.
This is totally my fault. This has nothing to do with the platform. I'm sorry.
What is going on?
No, I don't. Honestly, I was on. So I have my internet has dual band. It has the 5. I'm losing you again.
Oh, there you go. You're back.
Okay. It has dual band. It has the 5 gigahertz and the 2.4 gigahertz. And it sometimes the 5 starts freaking out. So then I got to flip over to the 2.4. You still there? No way, dude. What is going on?
Oh, man. I think you need a hardwire. I think relying on Wi-Fi is the source of our issues here. Derek's frozen in the middle of explaining something. I don't know if you can see his video, but he's like,
oh my gosh.
He's about to explain something. Oh, it actually looks like more of like an excuse posture. Like, it's not me. He's like trying to sell us on the cause of the issue, when the ever-presence of the issue is kind of the main thing to notice here. So yeah, well, anyway, I guess we should probably just wrap this one up. It has been a ton of fun. The first half of the show was a lot of fun. We got to talk about kids playing games and not keeping score and how ridiculous that is, but also how enjoyable it is. And then we learned about Skylink, and maybe that's why maybe that's why Derek got cut off, because he's not on Skylink yet. Maybe Elon Musk was listening and he's like, oh, wait a minute, this motherfucker's not using Skylink? Fuck this guy, zap, and killed his internet connection. That's a likely scenario. But thank you for joining us, and talk to you next time.